Everybody has a past. No matter who we are, no matter where we come from, everybody has a past. One of the greatest obstacles that people have is not overcoming and conquering the past. Tyrone Bowman, welcome to At Breaking the Chains. Most people in life are defeated even before they get started. How are they defeated? They're being held captive by the past. Sometimes people will always remember everything wrong that you ever did during your lifetime, and they will hold it against you. Let me ask you a question as I'm getting started on this first live broadcast on this channel. Who told you that you couldn't succeed? Who told you that you could not make it? Who told you that your life does not have a meaning or purpose? Did you tell yourself that? Did someone from your past tell you that? Sometimes people will get to the point they want you to think that you can't overcome. But guess what? You can reinvent yourself. What do you mean, Tyrone? When you reinvent yourself, you get to the point where you become a brand new you. Hello. You come to the point where you become a brand new you. Reinventing yourself starts here in the mind. When we reinvent ourselves, I could give you an example. The wheel has been invented, but people are reinventing it all the time. How? By putting sparks on it, by making it gold, making it look nice, but it's still a wheel. They reinvent everything over and over again in the advertising business. It's the same food, it's the same restaurant. They're giving you the same service. They may add something new on the menu or change something or give the building a facelift, but essentially, they're reinventing themselves. You can conquer anything that people tell you that you can't conquer. Number one, you're going to have to get away from negative thinking, speaking, acting, do nothing people. These are the people who will always tell you what you can't do. They will always tell you what you can't achieve. They will always tell you what you can't have. You'll never be anything. You'll never be anybody, no matter how hard you try. If I had listened to people telling me all my life, I would be one of the most miserable people on the planet. People will tell you, well, because you've been to prison, you're the worst of this and the worst of that. Everybody has a past. Most people are in the worst type of prison. They're locked inside their minds. They're locked up in their room, their mind. They live inside their head. Their thoughts of failure start in their mind. Thoughts of rejection start in the mind. Thoughts of low self-esteem happen in the mind. Thoughts of depression and worry and fear and rejection, it starts in the mind. Sometimes, in order to reinvent yourself, you've got to get away from the old neighborhood, the old friends, the people that you know, because they're always going to remember everything that you did wrong. They're never going to let you live it down. Every time you try to move forward, they're going to try to bring you backwards. Every time I give an example. When you say, some people say, I'm going to go to school. And as soon as you tell somebody that, they're like, you're not going to make it. You, you go to trade school, you become a welder. There's nothing wrong with becoming a welder. There's nothing wrong with being an electrician. There's nothing wrong with being a chef. There's nothing wrong with being a carpenter. Where do you think all the major jobs right now are? People who have skills. Reinvent yourself. What are you good at? Whatever you are good at, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on here 11:48 p.m. tonight because I believe in the mission. I believe in what I'm doing, or else I wouldn't be here doing it. Don't let no one tell you that the career that you want is not worth having. All right, let me talk about me for a moment. When I was growing up, I had five other brothers. My brothers were bigger than me, stronger than me, more athletic than me. But I had the gift to gab. They didn't have the gift to gab, but I had it. I had the ability to be able to talk, to read, to reason. So, what would I do? I always dreamed about working in radio. I would listen to the radio announcers and listen to the DJs growing up, and I wanted to be just like them. So when I got out of high school, I went to a place called the American Academy of Broadcasting for 2 years. It was a radio school. And in that school, they taught me about the basic fundamentals of broadcasting, communications, electronics. It was 2 intensified years. The first part, they called it comprehensive broadcasting. In there, you learned about how to read a script, how to write a commercial, how to edit a commercial. They taught you about how to read meters and things of transmitters and things of that nature. The second year consists of engineering. So once I graduated, I just lost my feed here. I can't make this stuff up. That's not me. So once I graduated from the American Academy of Broadcasting, a friend of mine said it was a very popular local radio there with me. So I got in the car. I didn't have anything to do anyway. So I went up there. And we had a popular DJ, radio guy, activist, entrepreneur, businessman. His name was Georgie Woods. And I walked in a radio station. I didn't know Georgie Woods and he didn't know me. I was standing in the door while my buddy was conducting his business. And he asked me a question. He said, do you know anything about that transmitter over there? I said, yeah. He said, can you work their board? I said, yeah, I can work it. He said, let me see what you got. It's a true story. I'm not making this up. I said, well, you're going to have to get up out of the chair and let me sit down. So I started producing his broadcast while he was on there live. He said, can you read? I said, yeah, I can read, man. Stop playing with me. And he gave me a cold copy, which is a commercial. Cold copy is when they just put it in front of you. You don't have time to rehearse it. And then he said, do you want a job? This is the clean version, y'all. He said a whole bunch of other stuff, but I ain't going to say it on here. He said, do you want a job? I said, yeah, I became his apprentice. He became my mentor. That was my first job in radio. I still have a job in radio to this day. Now I'm going to ask you, what do you want to do with your life? So how did it all start for me? It started in the ghetto. It started in the hood. When everybody was outside in the summertime, I took a piece of wood, scraped it up, make believe it was a microphone. I took some old milk crates, cleaned them up, took some plyboard and put it apart and took two crates and sat on them and act like I was in a radio station. And everything that they did, I did play by play. Street ball, I talked about it. Wall ball, I talked about it. Hopscotch, jacks, I talked about it. Street football, it didn't matter. And after a while, people said, you know what? That young boy is on to something. And I'm telling you tonight, reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself with a purpose. Reinvent yourself and fulfill your potential in this life. Reinvent yourself and don't let anyone, anything, or anybody tell you that you can't achieve. I'm talking to all my brothers and sisters right now that are incarcerated. That's why it's called Breaking the Chains with Tyrone Bowman. I'm talking to those, if you've been to prison and you've come home and they said you'll never be nothing, you'll never be nobody. Silence them by reinventing yourself. I'm talking to those who are out on parole, those who are on probation, those who got the ankle monitors around your foot. Reinvent yourself. I have a friend of mine, I'm going to get him down here, I'm going to bring him on my program. And because him and I, we know the prison industrial complex very well because we were both there at the same time. And he became an author and he wrote about 10 to 20 different books from a prison cell. Got them copyrighted. They're on the market. Don't let nobody tell you, listen. Society will tell you because you've been to prison that you're not worth anything. Really, look at the political climate we got now. Look who's running the asylum. The very people who are telling you and accusing you, they're committing the worst crimes under the sun. The prison industrial complex to lock people up so they can keep their beds full so they can make money. You got major investors who invest in prisons. So get it made up in your mind. And I'm not going to make this live real long, but get it made up in your mind. Purpose in your mind. That after you've done your time, while you're doing your time, start reinventing yourself. When you get out, come out with the mindset that you're never going back again. Now, you can't be out there hanging around the same people, doing the same stuff, going to the same places, doing the same things. Stop telling everybody about your plans and things that you're going to do and just get the job done. You can reinvent yourself through your mind. And read this book called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. See it? Get a copy of it. I'm going to start teaching from this book on this channel on tomorrow. Since I can go live, all my broadcasts are going to be live. But for tonight, I'm your brother in the struggle. I know what you deal with. I know what you're going through. I know how you feel. I know about the emotions because I've been where you are right now. The difference is I made up in my mind that experience has to be for a significant purpose. Oh, did I tell you that I'm a criminal justice major? Getting ready to graduate, getting ready to go to law school, by the grace of God. To do what? To become a criminal justice advocate. Fighting for victims, fighting for those who can't fight for themselves, speaking up for those who can't speak for themselves. You got to have an ally. And I'm telling you, your brother in the struggle, reinvent yourself. Never surrender. Never quit. And if you came on tonight, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Until next time, always remember, you're not in this alone. I'll be here every step of the way with you, encouraging you, inspiring you, and motivating you. Don't let the physical prison keep you locked up in your mind. The shackles, the anklets, the handcuffs, don't let that psychologically live inside your mind. You're already free, but you've got to know that you're free. So until tomorrow, never surrender, never quit.